I'm Katie.
And I'm Sham.
And together we're Boxing and Bantz.
About us, obviously being our first show, we have been friends for about 16 years. First love of boxing was from a child when I used to watch certain fights with my parents really. So I used to watch old Frank Bruno fights, Eubanks, Leonard Lewis, and then I got back into it again as an adult, kind of in the sort of David era where I went to go and watch David Hay and Derek Chisora, Upton Park, and then ever since then it's been full throttle.
So mine is quite similar. I used to watch it with my stepdad and my mum. I started to get back into boxing. I watched, it was Mayweather and Canelo, I think that was 2013, in Madison Square Gardens. And once I watched that, I was like, oh my God, I remember why I loved boxing. When I was younger, I went to Lennox Lewis's house when I was in high school, and I was so excited because my stepdad was really close to him. So we went to his house, me and my sisters, we was gassed, went there, next day went to school, told everybody, and nobody believed me.
So fast forward a few years and the both of us are heavily into the boxing.
Fully.
Watch every fight.
Host boxing nights ourselves.
Host boxing nights. Across all the weight classes as well,
yeah.
not just heavyweight,
yeah.
Like a lot of people. So
exactly.
We thought, the world might want to hear some of, our thoughts about the boxing world, a lot of the boxers, some of the fights.
Mm-hmm. We spoke to one of our friends, and she actually mentioned that, obviously she doesn't know much about boxing, but she will follow us because she knows us. However, we thought, why not give you guys a boxing tutorial? So just a boxing basics.
Weight divisions. There are 8 weight classes that range from flyweight to heavyweight. There's a few additional ones for sort of newcomer boxers, which I won't bore you with now. And I believe there are some slightly different ones for females, for female boxers. I'm going to talk about the distinction between management, trainers and promoters, as much as I know. So obviously your management is obviously who manages you, manage your day-to-day affairs, and manages the relationship between, say for instance, what promoter you might use. Your trainer, which I think is kind of self-evident, is like the person that obviously trains you, your strength trainer, your strength trainer, and conditioning and all that sort of stuff, and keeps you in shape and fit. And then you've got your promoter or your promotional company, and they basically promote you, help promote your fights that you've got coming up, and just kind of get you seen by the world.
Undercards, that usually occurs before the main event. It helps up and coming boxers to be seen, their skills, and also just shines a light on them as boxers, and then you can look out for them for other main events as well. So
it's actually, I was just going to jump in there, I think it's quite interesting how a lot of people don't seem to know about the undercard.
No, they don't.
They'll often say, well, what time is the fight?
Yeah.
And then you'll say, okay, it's at this time, but the undercard starts at, and they're like, what's the undercard? What's these other fights?
Exactly,
before?
and they're not really interested in the undercard because they're usually wanting to see the main event.
Fight,
but whereas us, we look for the undercard. We're like, oh my God, I've seen that one, and then what we do, we then research them. So yeah, I would say to everybody, try and watch at least 1 or 2 of the undercards. Usually I think it's about 6 undercards.
It's about 5 or 6 usually,
yeah, it just does. It depends, and depending on the rounds and how long it goes for, it depends if they get the knockouts or whatever. But definitely look for the undercards, at least 1 or 2.
And some of them are not all 12 rounders as well. Like for some of the newer boxers, they might do a 10-round fight. Even sometimes
6 rounds.
5, 6. Yeah, for some of the really new boxers. So you don't have to sit through 12 rounds for each fight. Okay, so on to points versus knockouts. So basically, you can win a fight either on points, which means the fight goes to the full 12 rounds, and then the judges will score it at the end and say who won based on the points. Obviously, sometimes it can also be a draw. Or you can win by knockout, which is where obviously you've knocked your opponent clean on the floor.
So then you have the KO, knockout, and then you have the TKO. There's a bit of a difference. So the knockout is when you get knocked down to the floor and you can't get back up within the 10 seconds that the ref counts. And then you have the TKO, which is the technical knockout, and that is usually when you're not fighting back anymore and you get the stoppage.
I think the technical knockout can also happen as well if there's an injury.
Yeah.
And the ref
can
decides
stop
that
it.
actually, you know, we're not going to carry you on in this fight. An orthodox stance is when you lead with your left leg and your left hand, and you jab with that hand, and you do most of your bigger punches with the right hand. Southpaw is basically the opposite. So you're leading with your right, and you're, punching. You're doing your jabs with your right hand. Most of the time, a lot of southpaws naturally are left-handed people because it's easier for them to do their bigger punches with the left, and that's why they're southpaw. But you do get the occasional right-handed southpaw. Boxing basics. I hope that gives you enough to kind of watch fights with a little bit more knowledge now, and kind of know a little bit of kind of what some of the commentators are talking about. So with that in mind, we're going to take a look at a recent fight that took place between Joshua Buatsi and Marco Calic on the 4th of October, and we're also going to take a look at two great fights from the undercard of that night. So let's take a look at this fight between Linus Udofia from Luton and John Harding Jr., who is one of Dillian White's boys.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved his ring walk.
Yeah, it was too lit. But look at the vibe that he came through with. But even the music.
So he's got, he's got Dillian White's voice on a tune.
Yeah.
The Maximum Violence hashtag, which I think is the biggest form of homage you can pay to your manager.
He clearly has a level of respect for him. Yeah.
So Linus came out to I think some traditional Nigerian music.
Yeah.
He's obviously he's very proud of where he comes from, his culture, which I think is nice. I think he's really nice.
He's quite humble as well. He seems quite humble the way he just stepped out and he's like, do you know what? I'm finna take this. And it's funny because I never seen him box before.
I never
until
had
this time.
And to be honest, I kind of was expecting it to go the other way.
So did I. So what's this, round 3?
So let's have a look at round 3.
Yeah.
I think Udofia boxes at quite long range.
Yeah.
He doesn't get too close to John.
He doesn't. And he's definitely on the front foot.
Yeah.
Harding's defense is great. He's got it in line. Yeah, with his elbows.
High guard.
And then this one was what, the last round?
This is last round, round 9.
9, yeah.
I think by this point, Udofia had the fight in the bag.
Yeah.
For me personally, I like John Harding Jr.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything that really excited me in the fight. There was maybe one round where he kind of toppled him a bit, but generally Udofia had taken it by this point.
And as well, the way John Harding was breathing so hard, I think his camp maybe needs to play a part to play with it.
I don't know if it's breathing or if it's stamina. If it's general fitness.
It must be.
If it's a fitness thing.
Yeah. So it comes
tell.
all together because he seemed really tired.
He did. He was very tired
He was
by this
exhausted.
point. He was very tired by this point. Udofia looked calm. He looks comfortable.
And the thing is, he looked like he could have went,
Carried
kept on going. Yeah. And the thing is, he doubled up on his jabs as well. His jabs was clean.
They're very clean. He landed most of his stuff. I was impressed. I was really impressed with Linus. It's just
crazy.
John Harding just kind of holding on
Well,
where he can. But it's still early days for him. I think he's got something there.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure for this fight.
I think it showed more of his flaws this fight. And I don't know what his strengths are at this moment in time. So I definitely want to see him box again.
I want to see him again. I definitely want to see him again. I think he's got something about him.
There is something about him. And I think as well it's his vibe. He's got an aura about him, and we haven't even met him. But there's a vibe that, I would like to see him do a little bit more in his next fight. But again, it's practice makes perfect, isn't it? Look at that.
Oh, and
Look at that.
It's gone down.
I knew that was coming. Do you know what? I knew it was coming.
Left. Yeah. I could see he was tired.
He was tired.
I could see he was tired.
He was tired.
Yeah,
they waved it off.
They just waved it off and said no. So I guess technical knockout.
Yeah, he must have been so pissed.
So we're looking at Chantel Cameron and Adriana Araujo.
Yeah. Round one.
Interesting fight, round one.
Red and gold trunks.
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna go straight in there with Adriana. Obviously, she was sent not to be very professional because she didn't make the weight.
That already itself is like, did you take the fight seriously?
Exactly.
For me.
And Chantel she felt that was quite disrespectful.
Yeah.
Which I can understand because they have to do a lot of work to make sure they reach the ideal weight for the fight.
And she would have lost anyway because she wouldn't have been able to win this fight because she didn't make weight.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't have won.
She wouldn't have. Yeah.
Period.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if we've got any questions, but I'm gonna be honest. Her attire wasn't appropriate. Her vest top was pulled up several times, not only by the ref, but by her own team.
You know, I was watching the fight. Obviously, me and you was messaging each other throughout the whole thing.
Praying,
Bruh,
please don't
I was
like,
please, someone help her. And the fact that they even allowed her in the ring like that, and even her footwear.
Yeah,
to me, nah.
But do you know what? She wasn't a terrible boxer. I thought she was okay.
She was a good boxer,
but she just doesn't seem prepared to me. She almost just looked like she wasn't taking the whole thing seriously.
But sorry to cut you, but you know what? When they started boxing, I actually was more looking at Adriana.
Yeah.
I was more looking at her, and I was like,
she's got a nice style. She's on the front foot a lot. She's quite exciting to watch in some ways.
Her stance is firm, and I thought, she's gonna give her some licks, but I can't lie.
Chantel was impressive.
Chantel was like a mini Katie Taylor.
Yeah. I think they've got slightly different styles for me, but she reminds me of her in the sense of how she controlled the fight.
Yeah. And she danced around the ring. Yeah. She dominated that.
Yeah, she did.
And she didn't even seem tired to me. She didn't seem tired.
Well trained, strong, good defense. She was good to watch.
She was in her element.
So this was a Market Calic entrance. Some rock tune. That's fine. That's
do your thing.
It's not my personal taste, but that's his thing. But ring walks for me are very important. It gets me excited. I'm kind of almost with you once I've heard your ring walk.
That's it. It's like you're walking with them.
You're like,
hey. But it's definitely like you're walking with them.
Yeah. Buatsi's music was nice. It was nice. It's quite chilled. It's quite a chilled song that he picked as well. But it's it represents him.
Considering he hadn't fought for a little while.
I feel like he's 400 days.
Exactly, and the thing is, for me, he seems very calm right now. He seems like, okay, I'm ready to go in there and I'm ready to do what I've got to do.
I think he always comes across like that.
Yeah. I wonder what they think when they're walking towards the ring though, like, I'm ready for you, or, oh, fuck, or, yeah, let's do it. God only knows.
I noticed that you always praise in the corner just before his fights.
And I love that.
To me,
I love that.
Religious
spiritual
man,
guy.
Thing,
yeah.
He's into his faith, which is good. So round one, even from this early round, as much as I love Buatsi, I think he's a really exciting boxer.
Yeah.
I was worried. I was a little bit worried because
me too.
Calic was really...
He was on to him.
He's busy.
Yeah.
All the way through that round, he was busy. He just kept catching him. And that's how, through most of the fight, it felt for me.
And the thing is, he landed. Majority of his punches landed. And I was like, I've never seen Buatsi. You didn't get hit that much. Ever.
And I'm not used to seeing that. I'm used to seeing Buatsi come in the ring and just dominate the whole fight. This time,
nah.
Oh God, nah.
This was different.
You get hit, the weaker you're gonna be.
I'll tell you something. This was on a Sunday, and I was laying in the bed while I was watching this, and I actually had to get up out the bed, and that's me and you messaging each other like, oh.
It's not that he was terrible, He still got his punches in, but he got hit a lot.
He got
they're both
hit and he got
undefeated,
caught.
you know,
Yeah.
so
Look.
so this is the section where his eye was hit.
And
And you
he's
see after that he kept dabbing at his eye, he kept hitting his eye, touching his eye. You can see from there it was swollen really badly.
And it happened instantly. It was an instant effect, so that must have been a hard punch connected.
Yeah. And again, I've never seen an injury. I've never seen an injury before for Buatsi. So
Yeah.
again, I was worried. I was like, I hope they don't stop the fight.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't need a loss on his record.
I didn't want the ref to stop it as well. Like,
Yeah.
you see, I know it wasn't bleeding, but there's a point where they will stop it.
Yeah, if you can't see, you
Yeah.
can't see out of the eye. But you know, I think it was just a superficial. It was just a superficial bruise. Like you know,
Yeah.
it was nothing substantial. I think they even said after the fight there was nothing broken. Or
No,
anything
it was
like
just
that.
swelling to the eye, and I was shocked because I was thinking it's the eye socket, something's happened, it's broken. But no, it was just swelling to the eye, so that was good. I was just thinking, bring it back, Buatsi, bring it back.
Joshua Buatsi's not right for
read on their body language that they're going to.
So this was round 7.
They're trying to load it up or something. He doesn't really give anything away. He doesn't.
And this is the round where it changed for me.
Yeah, it went like
maybe
that,
round
isn't
6, partway through round 6, and this round for me was Buatsi all the way.
I think he also learned how to adapt to the situation he was in regarding his eye, because he's never sustained an injury like that before.
And
Look
if
at
you notice, that was
Look,
where he tried to do the southpaw thing as well.
yeah.
He tried to confuse
When
it,
he
and it
switched,
didn't.
the minute he switched to southpaw is when he got caught.
Yeah.
Silly.
He wasn't ready.
And the thing is, Buatsi caught onto that straight away, and he was
He
like,
wasn't
"Ah,
ready at all.
I got you."
Like, come on, Buatsi.
Yeah, yeah.
He just, he sensed that. It didn't
Yeah.
confuse him, which is what I think he tried to put him off his, you know,
His game, throw him off.
Yeah. That's it. And now he just goes for it.
Yeah.
In there.
It's like, yeah, I seen you, I got you now, you're done.
Right hand. And he's just ready to finish him.
Yeah.
And then it's corner through in the towel, which I
I
think
was
was
like,
the right. I think that was the right decision. I think that was it was a good fight.
Yeah.
Very exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous for Buatsi in the sense that, you know, I've never seen him like that before, like
Yeah.
I said, and I think he's learned a lot of lessons that night. You know, we'll see what happens for the next one.
I'm just wishing him well, and I hope that he obviously learn. Well, every time you fight, you're supposed to fight someone up a notch. So yeah, it will be
That's gonna
always in
happen,
the
you're
next
gonna
level.
learn, yeah.
So, you know, God willing, he comes back strong. His swelling goes down, and he, you know, obviously repairs himself, and he's in good shape and health. I'm sure there's flaws that he saw in himself that, you know, him and his team can overcome.
And who do we want to see him fight next?
I
know they're talking about
mine's
Smith and
Anthony Yard is who I want him to fight next.
That's it for me.
100%.
That's it for me as well. I think that's an amazing fight.
Yeah,
They're two quite different styles
very different.
of boxing, but I think that's
Put them
that's
two
an
in the
exciting
ring.
fight.
I'm ready for that. 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
So,
that would be a good fight.
yeah.
So guys, I think that takes us to the end of the first show.
Yeah.
So make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe.
Uh-huh.
And look out for our up and coming interviews with Yusuf Kamari and Joe Bagnon.
So, as Sham said, like, comment and subscribe, and it's bye now.
iPad locked up, man.
You're throwing him off, look.
I'm sorry.